What's up, you big, beautiful nerds? This is Cheshire feeling less congested, with my nasal cavity feeling much better than it was. And today we're going to talk about Chulane, Teller of Tales. First, before we do anything, I want to give a big shout out to Tamara. So thank you very much, Tamara, for putting up some cash, sending me to GP Brisbane, Magic Fest Brisbane, this beautiful lightning bolt playmat, as well as a full art foil lightning bolt promo is yours. So I will get that to you ASAP. Also, remember to go and check out puremtgo.com, where the written version of this article is going to be up in the next couple of days. We also have something special coming up for the next set that I can't tell you about yet, and sometime in January it's looking like we should have a special stream to do with Brawl, which is why this video is so important. As I said, I was not going to do any Brawl videos with any of the Brawl commanders until January sometime. This is not a Brawl deck, this is an EDH deck. Not only is this pure, unadulterated, terribly bad value that you will get your friends to hate you, this has some really neat combos and some really stupid cards that I don't usually play. So first off, Chulane. 2/4 with Vigilance, and whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card, and then you can put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. Not tapped, just directly onto the bloody battlefield. What the heck? 3 in tap, return target creature you control to its owner's hand. Why? Why would you print this? Now, let me just start by saying that I don't believe this was tested for EDH. I don't. I think this was definitely tested for Standard, because in Standard it's good, but it's not broken, because you don't have things like, Intruder Alarm? Come on, really? So, 2 colors and a blue enchantment. Creatures don't untap during the controller's untap steps. Whenever a creature comes into play, untap all creatures. Now, what does that say to you? That says to you what? Mana Dorks? So we're going to, of course, have Llanowar Elves. We're going to have Elvish Mystic. We're going to have Birds of Paradise. We're going to have a Devoted Druid, because that's hilarious. Priest of Titania, because all of our elves will accumulate and make us a lot of mana. And we've got, of course, Incubation Druid, not just because it's pretty in foil. We've got Rishkar Pima Renegade, because it also adds counters to stuff, and then they can tap for mana as well, which is stupid. That is what we want to run for our Intruder combo. Now, how else are we going to ramp? Well, Carpet of Flowers is an obvious. At your table, at least somebody else is going to be playing blue mana, usually. Sometimes it's going to be a dead card, and that's fine, because it only costs 1 bloody green mana anyway. We've got Rampant Growth, so we can search for a basic land card and put that on the battlefield tapped. And of course we have Farseek, so that we can search for anything that's not a basic forest, and then put it on the battlefield tapped and shuffle our library. Now, let's put these aside, because you're probably wondering how we're going to go about actually breaking this deck. Alright. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This is not going to make you friends at all. Aluren, 2 colors and 2 green for an enchantment. Any player, we'll talk about that in a second, may play a creature card with total casting cost of 3 or less whenever that player could play an instant and without paying its mana cost. So, give all your creatures flash as long as they have CMC 3 or less, but that's for the whole table. Watch out against Slivers. It will screw you up. Watch out against Gobos. It will screw you up. If somebody is playing Perforus, maybe you want to, keep this in your hand and not do that. So we know that now we can play all of our delicious mana dorks that are absolutely buried in here for free. Getting a card each time, getting a land potentially into the battlefield each time, just drawing throughout our deck like crazy. I'm so sorry. The fridge just started up. Food Chain. This is 1 green and 2 colors for an enchantment. Remove a creature you control from the game and add X mana of any color to your mana pool, where X is the removed creature's converted mana cost +1. Alright, so you can only use the mana to play creature spells. Sounds like a bit of a drawback, There's actually 2 creatures you can play with this. We're only playing one of them for a particular reason. Eternal Scourge, 3 colorless for a 3/3 Eldrazi horror. You can cast it from exile. What? When it becomes the target of a spell, everybody, an opponent controls exile Eternal Scourge. Nobody cares about the fine print. So exile this from play with Food Chain for 4 mana of any color. Replay it for 3 infinite mana. Now, again, this is a deck that I made for Magic Fest Brisbane, so it's a little bit more harsh than my usual decks. And at the end of this, maybe we'll talk a little bit about my time at Magic Fest Brisbane and the absolute lack of CEDH pickup games and queues for the Commander Fanatic package, which was really rough. Alright, so we also want to take advantage of things like Spellseeker. Now, I haven't traditionally been a big fan of Spellseeker because I haven't found good things for her to be in. 2 colors and 1 blue for a human wizard for a 1/1. When she enters the battlefield, you may search a library for an instant or sorcery card with a converted mana cost of 2 or less. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. Remember, we can pay 3 and then return target creature we control to our owner's hand. So we can get more value out of Spellseeker for things that help us combo, like our Enlightened Tutor. Because then when we play Spellseeker back down, after we fetch the Enlightened Tutor, after we cast it, we get that card directly to our hand after it goes on top of our library. The same with Worldly Tutor to search for creatures, Ella Damri's Call, searching for creatures, Green Sun's Zenith, which is part of our combo as well, so that we can use it as a tutor and shuffle it back in. Finale of Devastation, also only 2 green, so we can search our library and graveyard or graveyard for a creature card with converted mana cost of X or less, etc. We can get some protection in the form of Arcane Denial. We can get Dovin's Veto. We can get Veil of Summer. It's useful, but in some cases it's not. We can get our Nature's Claim so that we can destroy enchantment or an artifact. We can even get Swords to Plowshares. This deck is incredibly toolboxy and I love it. I played this on the entire weekend and it was so much fun. So now we're playing all these creature cards. What are we going to do? Well, Chulane draws us cards. Beast Whisperer also will be drawing us cards when we cast creature spells. When creatures are entering the battlefield, Guardian's Project is also drawing us cards. If we're casting all this stuff, we need God Eternal Oketra. Thank you very much, Brad/BlessRNG from Twitch, for giving me the SDC promos. I told you I'd use them. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 4/4 black zombie warrior creature token with vigilance. Don't worry about the other text, it just goes 3 from the top of a dice. It's even double strike, but geez, this is just value and it's a bit much, really. This is so much to be doing. With all that in mind, I actually found a reason to play Release to the Wind, which somebody on the weekend asked me, why are you playing that? Because it's a cast trigger as an instant. Exile target non-land permanent for as long as that card remains exiled. Its owner may cast that without paying its mana cost. So you can use this as instant protection to get your creature out of the battlefield. Then on your turn, you can replay it for free. For free! There's so many triggers. Alright, so let's go through a very quick, hey, what are you casting and why? Calling Oracle, potentially ramp or card draw. Lotus Cobra, we're going to be playing a whole bunch of lands thanks to Chulane, so we want Lotus Cobra for the landfall so that we get extra mana. Collector Elf, I don't know, I'm really bad with names, right? Activated abilities of artifacts can't be activated. We're playing 1 Sol Ring and that is it. We're not playing any other artifacts because we want to be able to tutor for this little bad boy thing, not oof, I don't know, whatever. We just basically want to tutor. Speaking of, Scavenging Ooze. Pretty cool, can gain new life, gets bigger, exiles cards, pretty cool. Reflector Mage. I love being able to actually lock somebody's commander out. That sounds great. Eternal Witness shenanigans. Play it with Aluren. Bounce it with Chulane. Play it with Aluren. Bounce it with Chulane. I love having all that mana. So good. Intruder Alarm, just so good. Aven Mind Sensor to help lock opponents out of searching their libraries. Reusable Reclamation Sage sounds like absolute gas and complete value. Stack Shenanigans. Notice where that colon is. Tap, colon. The tapping is the cost. So, tap it, then bounce it to your hand, and you don't have to exile it. But the rest of the text will actually resolve, and you will exile target permanent. Miri, of course, for attack shenanigans. Not so relevant in this deck, but it can be. Mystic Snake, because having a counterspell on a creature or on a stick that you can bounce and keep using is fantastic. Vizier of the Menagerie, because looking at your top card of your library and then being able to cast it, if it's a creature card, sounds pretty good, and we can spend mana as though we're any type to cast creature spells, which helps if we can't get all the mana together for Chulane, and we've got this in play instead. Shalai, Voice of Plenty, helps lock all of our creatures under Shalai, unless there's a whole board wipe, but that doesn't really matter too much. So we can give all of our other creatures that we control hexproof, as well as planeswalkers. Excuse me. Venza, Shaper Savant, because flash, I guess, but returning target spell opponent to its owner's hand and then being able to reuse it. Remember, we get to draw cards and play lands. Revelark, because, there's heaps of targets in this deck for Revelark. We've got Seaboard Muse, just in case we do want to untap all of our actual permanents during each other player's untap step, including Chulane, so we can get multiple triggers. We have Sun Titan, because, if you've not played with Sun Titan, you should. It's pretty obvious. We got Wargate as also another shooter. Okay, so now that we've got that, what else can we do that really breaks it down, that helps us in the long run? Well, I'm glad that you asked. So, if we're building an entire army with our god Eternal Oketra, if we're getting that many creatures into play, we really want to take advantage of that. So, we basically want a Cradlehoof to make everything stupid big. That's just a given, right? So, when Cradlehoof Behemoth enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain trample and +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. We can have a bunch of creatures, so that's fine, right? We want Ronus, because when Ronus enters the battlefield, double the power of each other creature you control until the end of turn, and they gain Vigilance. Okay, so trample and vigilance, they're all massive. Even if they're just 4/4s, they're now like 8/8s, they're now 16/8s, and then we kill the entire table with the finale of Devastation. What? Such a library and or graveyard for a creature card with a converted mana cost of X or less and put it onto the battlefield. If you search a library this way, shuffle it. If X is 10 or more, creatures you control get +X and gain haste for a 1-turn stupid combo kill. Alright, so our creatures are massive. We went from having, let's say, 8/8 zombies to 16/8 zombies to 28/8 zombies. Did we miss a step there? 4 massive, double massive. You know what? It doesn't even matter. It's just too big now for your opponent to control. However, say that you know you're going to run out of deck. That's cool, because we're playing Labman. So, if you draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. Hey, it only costs 3. What? Aluren puts it into play for free? Well, that sounds mighty fine. What happens if Labman gets removed from your deck somehow, or from your hand, or gets discarded? That's why we're playing Approach of the Second Sun. What? Yeah, you know how it is. If we're playing white, we're going to be playing Approach of the Second Sun. You've heard me talk about this on videos before. If we're playing white and we can fit it, we're going to be playing Approach of the Second Sun for our alt-wing condition, especially with things like Aluren, playing creatures for free and then drawing a whole bunch of cards, meaning that you can draw back into your approach really easily, having the feud chain combo so that we can actually just combo straight out into Approach of the Second Sun 2 times. Sounds pretty baller to me and pretty much just going to win you the game. This is Chulane. This is a massive engine of absolute terror and value. This is a lot more CEDH leaning than my other decks. No, there's no Mana Drain or Force Will, but you know what? You don't even need them at the right time. If you can catch everyone off guard, and usually you can, you have ways to stop people from Force of Willing you. You have ways to stop people from disrupting your combos, destroying your stuff. This deck is really tight, and my version needs a bit of work on the mana base, but it's a really tight deck. Wow, I killed so many people at Magic Fest with this stupid deck. I would sit down at a table, somebody would ask me what my power level is, and I'd say, it's generally about a 6, but with this deck, I believe that if I get the right hand, it jumps to an 8 or a 9 pretty easily. And boy, was I not disappointed. This deck kicks some serious ass. I'm Chesh. I hope you enjoyed this deck tech. Let me know down below what the next deck tech you maybe want me to do, and I'll see if I can do it. Special thanks to puremtgo.com. Go and read my articles over at puremtgo.com and check out my Patreon in the link down below. Hit that subscribe button. I know you've heard it from YouTubers all around the world so much and you're so over it, but you know what? It's going to happen. I'm also appearing on a special live stream that you'll hear about probably next week when I look in all the details with one of the American Commander Live crews. So that's going to be fun. That'll be done from this table. I do need to sort out my stream setup in the kitchen here. Yes, I'm in a kitchen. Don't worry. It's a long story. I hope you've really enjoyed this. Hit that like button, comment, tell me how much you love this deck. If you've played this deck, give me all of your weird and wonderful, wacky stories of stupid combos that you've been able to accrue with this deck and smashing people with it. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out, you big, beautiful geeks. This is Chesh. Have fun. Play more games.